Regardless of how you feel about modern tech, such as smartphones and video game consoles, alongside the companies who made them, there's no telling in how far technology has advanced within the past couple of decades. Yet the way these systems look and operate may be a far cry from the predictions you made many years ago. That may be due to one notable video. On April 19, 2008, a user going by Video Game AF would upload a video titled Future Gen Consoles, Wii 2, PS4, Xbox 720. In this video, a showcase made in Windows Movie Maker would feature many different renders, including the next iPhone, a potential Apple console, the iconic Wii Phone, and predictions as to what the next generation Xbox and PlayStation systems would look like. The song Bodies by the band Drowning Pool would also be playing. I was fooled by this video as a kid. I genuinely thought these were what consoles were going to look like in 2015, and I'm sure many of you guys felt the same way. Now, plenty of videos like this one have existed, but this one in particular is the most iconic, as it has over 16 million views, 1 million likes, and still gets referenced and recreated years later through memes. How is the creator of the video, you may ask? His real name is Christian Graham, and is active on Twitter under the name @EpicGhosty. He's actually a producer at Epic Games working for the Fortnite team. Though he's previously worked for Adult Swim games, it's safe to say he's doing well for himself. But how about the actual renders for these fake consoles? Who made them? What was the reason why they made the renders? How did these fake consoles operate? These are the questions I asked myself, so I decided to go on a hunt to find the true origins of these fake console renders. The video starts off by showing what Apple's future products may look like, with the iPhone 2 being the first one shown off. Funny enough, Apple decided to skip the 2 after the first generation and go straight to the 3G, which was released in July of 2008. Now for Graham's iPhone 2 prediction, the render seems to take a step back, making use of a sliding feature with a keypad akin to that of a Samsung from this time period. Though the general design does seem to take a lot from the iPod, I could trace the iPhone 2 image as far back as January 4th, 2005 on a Russian website titled Outliner.by. A man named Alexander Stelmach would post our first seen sighting of this image in an article about a new iPod iPhone. This device would have been sold in May of the same year and would have costed $700. Unless this was from an alternate timeline, the information here is way off from the truth, and we don't exactly know who made the device. Stelmach's profile couldn't be traced back either, as the actual website is shut down and the Wayback Machine just doesn't have a screenshot for it. I decided to make a discussion board on the Lost Media Wiki Discord in order to seek assistance. Unfortunately, it was shut down soon after. Luckily, before that, a user in the server did find a high-resolution version of the image. The image was found on a Russian news site in regards to new iPhone leaks, but the information on that site was stolen from another Russian news site. Neither site led me anywhere, so I decided to reach out to the email in the photo. The first time I emailed, I got an error message, so I decided to change the spelling just in case I got the I's and the L's mixed up, and it sent through. But for all we know, the email could have just been placed later on. Unless proven otherwise, I think the creator behind this image remains a mystery.
And the next product is the Apple iBox, which obviously looks to be a Apple console. A lot of people don't know this, but Apple actually has made a console before, with the Apple Pippin back in 1995, which was a complete commercial failure. The design of this console is very nice. It has these blue glossy bits that are probably inspired by the iMac G3 or the Power Mac G3. It follows this general design aesthetic that Apple was going for in the late 90s and early 2000s. As for the controller, there is only one button and a joystick, so I don't know what games you're going to be playing on this thing, but I gotta say, that is quite in character for Apple to do something like this. We were able to find the origins of this very famous image. Using this trusty tool from earlier, we can get to a site called worth1000.com, a site dedicated to Photoshop contests. This particular contest was their second Mac vs PC theme. The rules were listed as follows. Mac vs PC. We all know which is better. Here is your chance to show it. In this contest, your task is to use Photoshop to depict ways that your preferred computing device is superior to that other glorified calculator, in spite of what its idiot users say. The rules for this game are thus. Photoshop an image that shows that Macs are better than PCs, or that PCs are better than Macs. Naturally, you must always show the ways that the competition is inferior, or even just bash the suckers, i.e. use them for target practice. Do not depict a BSOD, blue screen of death. They are cliche and will be disqualified. Be creative. As always, quality is a must. We will remove poor entries no matter how much we like you. You will have 48 hours for this contest, so make your submissions count. The contest started on November 29th, 2003 and ended on December 2nd of the same year. The famous iBox image was the winner of this contest. First place! That's crazy! It was an entry published by the contestant named Courtney Courtney Cox Zucker. Very classy. Courtney Cox Zucker had previously entered in multiple different contests, and from their profile we can learn a lot more about them, such as that they live in Sherman Oaks, California, and that they were 33 when they made this image. Their page also has a link to their personal portfolio. On this portfolio we can learn their name is Nick and they are a digital artist. This portfolio very much shows its age. This is definitely a website from 2003. It didn't take too much digging to find all of this stuff. Like I said, I didn't do it. It was this guy. But it's really cool to get the origins of this thing. That's all from me. Back to the main guy. Goodbye.
Our third and final Apple device is the new iPod. Basically, it's an iPod with the screen hidden within a sliding feature, and the screen is playing Finding Nemo in this case. There are also some very short earbuds that are connected to the device. Looks-wise, it's very aesthetic, and it feels like it could be fun to carry around, but tech-wise, I don't know how efficient it would be. The earliest trace of this image I could find goes back to a forum post that was posted on a French website titled Mac Generation. A user named Benjamin Masciota would make a post on June 25th, 2004 regarding fake iPod concepts he found on a website titled Gizmodo. I couldn't find the actual Gizmodo article, so we'll just have to rely on the forum post. We see the iPod from the video, which is titled the iPod Slider. Right next to it, we get another iPod concept in the form of the all-new iPod, which as described, can carry 15,000 songs and 80 hours of video. So far, nothing regarding the actual designer of the concept, nor could we find the true original source of the image. It's just funny to think about how wrong we were regarding Apple product predictions. When it comes to Apple and its innovations, I mainly think of software features like Face ID and Touch Pay. It just made me think if there were any predictions like the Apple Watch, AirPods, or the fact we don't have a home button anymore. If anything, Samsung is the one with the innovations, though I still prefer my phone not exploding. Only one render has been found so far, but we are far luckier on the Nintendo side of things.
Ah yes, the iconic Wii Phone image, depicting a Wiimote photoshopped with a small screen playing Super Mario World in a number pad. This image still gets brought up to this day through various meme posts, and for good reason. It's such a comical idea. I mean, there isn't much of a reason for Nintendo to make such a device. But funnily enough, this was actually something Nintendo patented. Earliest trace of this image goes as far back as February 2nd, 2007, on a news site titled T3. This article talks about how there was speculation for a potential Wiimote phone, and how there was actually a patent for it in 2001. The patent itself was pretty easy to find, as all it took was a simple Google search, then a Nintendo Life article, which then led to a Reddit thread that then brought us to a Google patent site. The render and the patent image are a pretty good 1-to-1. We can see that the Wii Phone was capable of both calling and playing games. Eventually, the patent would expire on August 18th, 2023, and as we all know, the actual Wii Phone never came to fruition. But we're still all left wondering as to who the original creator of the Wii Phone render is.
The second Nintendo console shown off is a Nintendo DS. This version of the DS was supposed to be a lot more compact through its sliding feature. The text on the closed DS image made it difficult to track, but with the open DS I was able to find a lead. Through Tanai, I tracked the image back to a Spanish tech site called VidExtra, where a user gives their input on the DS concept from a video they found. Luckily for us, they sourced where they found the original video. We're taken to a Daily Motion video where a user named Geeking Out re-uploaded the video. We got two leads with the credits at the end, an animator named Gaffy H and a concept artist named Nick Lowe. Nothing could be found in regards to the animator besides re-uploads of this video, though Nick is very much still kicking it. His blog site is seen on the credits, but he hasn't posted on it in years, though he was active on Twitter before transitioning over to Blue Sky, and from the looks of it, Nick is doing very well for himself. He is the design director at Hungry Sky, designer of Necograms and Purtle, and level designer for Snowcone. I know nothing about these games, but they look pretty fun.
All in all, mystery solved.
Just from one Google search, the Nintendo On can already be found. And man, does the rabbit hole go deep. Psycho Thriller, or Pablo Belmonte, wanted to make a video that protested capitalistic consumption, but instead decided to make a hoax video that mimicked the future of video games. Around this time, rumors regarding a new Nintendo console were being spread around online forums. During production, Pablo put a ton of effort and energy into making such a high-quality video, leading him to passing out and crashing into bed, until suddenly his hard drive would crash, leaving hundreds of gigabytes of project files to be wiped or corrupted. Rather than start anew, Pablo made use of the uncorrupted and recovered files to quickly quickly make a recreation of the final project, which included footage of Metroid and Mario. The extended version would have been 30 minutes, but the finished project only represented 10% of what he had in mind. Eventually, Pablo would publish the video before E3 2005, which was why it was rushed for production. The video itself begins with a recap of past Nintendo consoles before having a tech demo for 512 million maps of Peach's castle from Mario 64. Before cutting to the console itself. The unfinished part plays, deconstructing the console's features, such as a DVD player and surround headphones, before cutting to the previously mentioned Mario and Metroid footage. As Pablo puts it, the Nintendo On presentation ends just as it's getting started. Despite its incompletion, the video was able to trick many fans online, and even garner the attention of Reggie Fils-Aimé, as seen in this E3 2005 interview, which was conducted by Pablo himself.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about, if you don't mind, is I know I was excited. There was a crazy video that leaked, or I guess was released by a fan out there. You saw it, I take it.
I have seen it.
What did you think of that crazy thing?
I think whoever that fan is needs to call us because he's amazingly talented in terms of pulling together a video. It really looked great. You know what? That's one.
It's been confirmed in an interview with Pablo that the demo would have featured gameplay from Half-Life, Metal Gear Solid, Mother 3, Secret of Evermore 2, WarioWare On, and Final Fantasy. Since then, Pablo would create another hoax known as Super Mario Galaxy DS, as well as other fan-made works. He'd also released sketches of Peach on his ArtStation and high-quality renders of the original videos. Even though we found the original render and artist for the Nintendo On, we're now left with another question. What could the finished product look like if no faults occurred?
Again, with a simple Google search, we're able to find the true origins of the Game Boy Omega through a Reddit post that posts the full concept behind the Game Boy Omega. The Omega's concept was made by an artist named Majid Al-Mahdi in 2006. Through this, we can see the price, the memory, as well as a general overview of the basic features such as the basic module, trackball module, the touchscreen, and the multimedia module. Based on these images, the right side of the Game Boy Omega could be changed to fit the user's needs. The concept art provides us with a link that has the artist's other works as well as the concept for the Omega, which was posted on September 26, 2006. Under the Omega, we get a description. Omega means final, last, and the end. Although Nintendo clearly states that the DS was not the next Game Boy, they still have not announced anything regarding the new system. I am sure the success of the DS was one of the reasons, as they do not wish to take away any of the steam the system has accumulated, as well as the launch of the Wii come this November. But Nintendo is known for their innovation, I should know. Ever since 1989, with the original NES, I have owned and enjoyed every system the company has produced, even the Virtual Boy, so just a new iteration won't cut it. This product has to have a major innovation in the handheld scene, as well as expandable and future-proof. This is my humble gift to Nintendo for all these years of entertainment. Just above that, we see more concept art for the Omega, just under some concept art for Wii Virtual Console solutions. Not only was this an easy find, it's interesting to know the full capabilities the artist had in mind. Though a system like this might be pretty unsuccessful in the market, still a dope concept though. For the GameCube Portable, no hunt had to be conducted, as had already been done by a YouTuber named Ginger of Oz. Not only did he find the origins in the creator of the image, he also recreated the GameCube Portable into a real thing. I highly recommend watching his video because it is extremely entertaining. To summarize the details of his video, he initially found an article about the portable GameCube that went all the way back to May 5th of 2005. Another YouTuber named Shank Mods would find the GameCube Portable on ArtStation. Through that, he got to the artist's blog site with his full name and email address, even though the email on it is unavailable. The original artist is a man named Demond that made console renders, and through that, he landed multiple jobs at studios such as Ubisoft and Epic Games. The source files and high-resolution renders are still out there, but on a hard drive that has long since been dead. I was able to reach out to Ginger of Oz regarding the links to the websites, and lo and behold, he sent them through, so shout out to him. A goated creator in so many ways. It's really cool to see that we were able to find the origins of all of these console images, even if we didn't get a clear answer as to who made the Wii Phone. A lot of these consoles may seem ineffective in retrospect, but you have to remember, Nintendo is the company with a VR headset, controllers that can be swung around, a handheld with 2 screens, a controller with a screen, the Switch, and a literal alarm clock. Nothing is off the table for this company, and there's still an audience of Nintendo fanboys willing to buy these products.
The fake Xbox 720 image is probably just as iconic and widespread as the Wii Phone image. Perhaps it's the title of 720, which was what everyone thought the next Xbox would be called instead of the One. It could also be its comically spherical shape, reminding everyone of the game sphere from Drake and Josh. Fun fact, the disc being inserted is the disc of GTA 3. Now, finding this image took a bit of scrolling. Reverse image searching on Google leads us to a Flickr link that was uploaded on February the 28th, 2005. That upload has a link in the description from a website called Gizmodo, which has long been shut down, but thanks to the Wayback Machine, we can access it. The Gizmodo upload displays 2 versions of the Xbox 720, one with the disc being inserted and one without. The caption has it right. This mock-up of a future Xbox console isn't practical, but it is imaginative. Funny enough, the caption also mentions there's a copyright, and there's another link right beneath it. That link takes us to another website called Warp2 Search. This article was posted on February the 27th, 2005. Not only do we get higher resolution versions of the 720, there's also a watermark underneath the closed 720 image. Actually, this image is really a hint towards a potential Xbox 360, as the 360's design wouldn't be announced until May of 2005 and wouldn't come out until November of 2005. There's a link to both cgnetworks.com and cgtalk.com, both sites dedicated to computer-generated art. And then we get a copyright by the artist, Rune Larson, and a date next to it detailing when he submitted it, February the 9th, 2005. Since both sites have been shut down for quite a while, it's very unlikely that the Wayback Machine has saved the original post. But hey, at least we finally get a big picture of where this image originated from. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the controller, which was displayed next. The earliest TinEye could trace the image back to was a 2010 article that hasn't been fully preserved by the Wayback Machine. The only other link TinEye could provide was a site that had higher quality renders of the Xbox controller, alongside a few other Xbox controller 3D model mockups. Just looking at this render, it lacks the effort of the rest of the fake consoles, and holding one of these things in your hand just seems uncomfortable. Although this is likely the source of the image, there's no telling of an artist, a date, and anything of that sort, giving us yet another unfortunate loss. We aren't so lucky with the 360 Portable either. The Xbox 360 Portable was the third Xbox product shown off in the video and combines an Xbox controller with a DS. As cool as this may seem, it probably wouldn't have been strong enough to run high-end Xbox games, considering the time. The absolute farthest TinEye sends us back is another news site uploaded on September the 15th, 2005, which then refers back to another news site titled Mobile Magazine, where the Xbox 360 Portable concept was reviewed as part of a monthly series that reviews different handheld console concepts. Unfortunately, the original article was not recovered. For something with such a cool concept and design, it's sad that we weren't able to find the original source.
Only one of the 3 Xbox renders could be traced back, but it was the one that mattered most. Now, Xbox is my least favorite out of the 3, and I can say that because I did grow up with Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation, but I must admit, the Game Pass did introduce me to some really great games. A total of 4 different PS4 concepts were shown off, so let's discuss where each of them came from. First PS4 shown off looks a lot like a silver PS3, and initially, I thought it was the silver satin variant of the PS3, but one thing holding that theory back is the lack of a PlayStation button near the CD inserter. In terms of the actual image, I just straight up couldn't trace it back to anything other than articles and forum posts that talked about the PS3 or rumors about the PS4. The same thing could be said for the second PS4 concept shown. All I could really trace it back to were various forums and articles about the rumored PS4. There's a bit more luck with the third PS3. Putting it through TinEye, we see a more extended image with a watermark logo that says Planet PS2. Unfortunately, looking this up gives me no results. Even putting the logo through TinEye and Google Images gives me nothing. As for the actual image, the farthest it could be traced back to was a gallery of various fake console images. Nothing has loaded, but we can see some PS3 images labeled under either Anonymous or Rune Larson. But for all we know, this PS3 PS3 could be one of the anonymous ones. The only PS3 image that could be found was the white PlayStation console with a remote behind a glass display. Truth is, it's just the PSX on display for the combined exhibition of Advanced Technologies trade show in Japan in 2003. In other words, just a misread by the creator of the video. The funny PS4 controller shown in the image is well just that, a goofy looking PS3 controller with a bunch of photoshopped messy buttons. There is an actual link to the website funnyjunk.com watermarked. The only other sources I could trace the image back to are more forums about how funny the image looks to some people, or just how a potential PS4 controller could look like. The final image in the video is the PlayStation Portable 2. The concept for the PS2 has a shape resembling that of a controller, rather than the oval shape the PSP and Vita went for. Plus, the game being played is a game titled Exit. As for the image, it's unfortunately lost. The earliest trace I could find of the image is in a forum post that speculates how a PSP could be coming in the next E3. With the PlayStation renders, there have been more disappointments with that than there are games on the PS5, which is very unfortunate because they had some really cool looking designs. The one render we do know the origins of was something that already exists, and that thing that exists was a commercial failure. It really is a shame because I wanted to know more about these console concepts, like they looked really fucking cool. Surprisingly, these renders aren't too far off from the PS4 and the PS5. Hey, remember when the PS3 had that Wii knockoff? Yeah, I actually used to own that, and we gave it to my family in the Philippines, but they ended up losing it because of a house robbery. A fun little story you should know. Out of everything we covered, we were able to find the iBox, the Nintendo DS, the Nintendo On, the Game Boy Omega, the GameCube Portable, the Xbox 720, and one of the fake PS4s, which was really just a PSX. That leaves us with the iPhone 2, the new iPod, the Wii Phone, the 720 controller, the 360 Portable, and pretty much everything on the PlayStation side except for the PSX, though we did find an email for one, a patent for another, and a website for the controller. These images really are staples of internet culture. They went from fooling everyone to being used for comedy. I'm really glad we were able to find the origins for a large chunk of them. As for the ones we didn't find, I really do hope they get found. I just want to know who made them and what they had in mind. Lost media searches are known to take years before being found, and who knows if we could even find the creators or the sources of these original images. I just want to give flowers to Kylie Bogley, Extrament, Bajiru, and Toxic Triforce. Recording can get very tedious, so I'm really glad these guys helped out. It's fun collabing with people. I was a fan of these guys before, and now I got them on speed dial. Think of it like a rap feature. I also love how different all of their voices sound. And an incredibly massive shout out to 100% Glimmer for animating that Mii version of me. Go check out their stuff as well, as they make really high quality animations with Miis. I really like their stuff because, well, I love animations, and I also love Tomadachi Life on the 3DS, so yeah. Take care of yourselves, and of course, as usual, please have yourselves a damn good one.